Hello everyone, welcome to the official channel of Trisha Classes. I, Professor Guru Prasad Rao, Principal of Trisha Vidya College of Commerce and Management, Udupi campus, extends a warm welcome to all of you. Now, this session is, maybe I can say, the topic of the town for all the CA aspirant students. We're talking about the new scheme launched by the ICAI recently, and with me, I have a renowned chartered accountant and academician, CA Adarsh Shenoy. Let me extend a warm welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
Sure. This has been, as I said, a talk of the town today.
Yes.
Among all the aspirants of chartered accountancy.
Yes.
So, what is this new scheme all about? And can you throw some light? What was the mindset in the ICAI before they came out with something new like this?
So the new scheme was not very different from what we have had already. In fact, it is in favor of the students overall. And to answer that second question, Institute has had an history over a period of last 75 years to change the syllabus every now and then, keep it updated with the global standards. Be it introduction of the open book examination in the last change that they had made, the last revision 6 years back when they made it, they had introduced something called as open book exam. So they keep experimenting, they keep getting in new global standards. And the overall Institute strategy through this change, what we see is they want to make the filtering of students as much as possible at the first level rather than the future level. So once you enter, that will be in line with what happens in IITs and what happens in medical colleges. So the entry, there will be a small barrier, a bigger barrier than what it is now, and the exit will be easier than what it has been before. So I can say the exit in this course will be much easier than ever before.
So as a practicing chartered accountant and the academician, you appreciate this move?
Yes, very much. That is because once a student dreams to become a CA, he commits, say, at least minimum 1 to 2 years in the course. So the moment he clears one level of CA foundation, under the new syllabus now, from what it seems like from the outset, once he clears the CA foundation, there is a very big, a fair chance of him becoming a chartered accountant in the subsequent years. So there is more promise from the institute as well to create more chartered accountants in that regard. Right.
So of late, we had quite a few interactions with the students, and I made a note of some of the important questions that students would be eager to know from you. So basically, what would be the important dates for this implementation of this new scheme, sir?
Yes, the new scheme has already been implemented on 1st July of 2023, the CA day, the 75th CA day, so on the landmark day. So they have already introduced this new scheme. So from now on, whoever is registering for the CA course will have to compulsorily register under the new scheme. There is no option for the old scheme as such right now. They had given a window up till 30th June, anyone could register for the whole scheme, but now that window is closed. So now if a student wants to do CA, he is freshly registering for the CA, now it will be under the new scheme only.
We would be restricting our discussion with the CA foundation only.
Yes, sir.
Considering this, what do you see the structure of the CA course, especially with the foundation?
So the foundation now, basically what has changed in foundation. I'll just give you a brief overview of what was there before and what will be there now.
Right.
So there were 4 papers in CA foundation and that remains as it is. We will have 4 papers under the new syllabus as well. In fact, the contents of the new syllabus foundation papers are almost the same with some changes here and there in certain papers. Now, for example, the accounts paper. I will go through each of the papers one by one. So the accounts paper, so we used to call it as principles and practice of accounting, but now it's called as accounting. So some chapters have been added, but you will find 80% of the syllabus is the same like how it was before. It has a lot of contents from their PUC textbooks. The PUC syllabus is there in accounts, whatever they study in first PUC and second PUC. It's the same content, but some additions now under the new scheme. 4 chapters have been added and 4 chapters have been removed. So the 4 redundant chapters have been removed and 4 new chapters have been added. Mainly it has been shifted from the intermediate syllabus. It was there in intermediate before, but it has been added over here. Similar thing goes with law as well. Law was a 60 mark paper before, along with PCR for 40 marks. Now what they have done is they've removed BCR and they have made law 100 marks. They have got some content from the inter-syllabus to the foundation level, and they have comprehensively made it only law for 100 marks now. So it is known as business laws, the paper number 2 now. It's for 100 marks. And the first 2 papers were descriptive before, it is descriptive even now. So descriptive means how people write in second. You see the same pattern follows over here. You have to write detailed answers. For accounts, you have to do the accounts and you have to do the balance sheets, P&L account. Similarly, for law, it's a theory paper, you have to describe the answers. So that is about the first 2 papers. The third paper hasn't gone through much changes at all. It's the same syllabus, how it was before. It is almost the same syllabus. Probably you will see some minor tweaks in the chapters, chapter-wise here and there. But other than that, the syllabus is maths, stats, and logical reasoning. It stays the same way. And the fourth paper again has gone through a major change. We used to have economics and business commercial knowledge. Now the institute has got rid of business commercial knowledge and they have kept only economics for 100 marks. And they have added some syllabus from the economics paper and intermediate. In fact, that paper is scrapped now. At inter level, they used to have an economics paper that is scrapped, and some of the content from there has been shifted to the foundation level. So that is a 100-mark paper. Just to note over here, paper 3 and paper 4 were MCQ papers, and it remains the same way. It is MCQ papers over here also. You will get 4 options. You have to pick one of the 4 options.
It's almost like a surgical strike in the foundation course. You agree with it?
Yes.
Much needed.
Much needed, and it makes the exam a little bit more competitive. And now the students putting efforts, their efforts will have to go up one notch with this.
Absolutely. I think that's a very important point the students have to make a note of.
Yes.
So getting into a detail about the CA Foundation. So there has been severe changes in the syllabus as you mentioned.
Yes.
Is there any changes in the fee structure, sir?
No, it is the same like how it was before. In fact, it was 9,000 rupees before. It remains.
That's no changes over there.
No change. Right.
So I have a question from one of the students who says he has registered for, let us say, foundation course after passing the 10th examination.
Yes.
And presently he is doing his 11th.
Yes.
So when will be eligible for the foundation examination and under which scheme of education?
Yes. This is a very common question that students have. We've already registered before July 1. So
correct.
So can I write exams under the old syllabus? The answer is no. So the person who is in first PUC now, 11th standard now, he'll be eligible to write exams in May 2025, and it will be under new scheme. So the last attempt for the old scheme is the November 2023 attempt. So whoever is eligible to write in that attempt will be writing exams. Everyone else, the new syllabus will be applicable and they'll have to write it.
So the same goes with the class 12th also?
Class 12th also. They will be eligible to write exams in May 2024 if they've already registered.
Right.
So it will be new syllabus exams. There is no option to conduct both the exams, unlike before. Last time when we had a syllabus change, they were conducting both old syllabus and new syllabus exams together. But now that particular privilege or benefit is gone, and now everyone who is under the old syllabus also will have to compulsorily shift to the new syllabus, and there will be only one set of exams being conducted in the May 2024 attempt, and thereon.
So when a student can register for the foundation course to become eligible for maybe June or December examination?
Before December, generally they say before 4 months from the attempt, yes, he'll have to apply for the registration.
You mentioned in detail about the various courses that is there in the foundation. When are this foundation examination held, sir? Any changes in that?
No, it is twice in a year. It will be in June and it will be in December. Every year it will be conducted.
What about the evaluation part? Is there any negative marking in the foundation examination?
Yes, that was there in the old syllabus as well.
That is continued here?
Yes, it will continue here for the MCQ papers, paper 3 and paper 4. Okay. For the objective type answers, you will have negative marking of minus 0.25 for every wrong answer. Okay. So if you get 4 answers wrong, it will be minus 1.
And any changes in the passing criteria?
Passing criteria, no. Interestingly, there were a lot of rumors spread around that CA Foundation passing criteria will change to 50 marks per paper and 50% aggregate, but Institute has issued FAQ mentioning that no. It will be 40 marks per paper, so one paper you have to get minimum 40, but your overall marks must be more than 50%. So that is to say, you should get minimum 200 marks out of 400, but per paper you should get more than 40 marks. So a student who gets say 70 marks on accounts and he gets 45 in law, is segregated more than 200, he will be clearing it.
I think this is the ultimate aim why we conducted this session, because these questions were numerously being asked and the rumors were quite natural.
Yeah.
I think this session would really benefit them in understanding the modalities of how foundation works.
Correct.
What about the validity period of the student registration in the foundation course?
This is a very interesting change, very interesting and probably a defining change that institute has got for the first time in its history.
Right.
So they have kept a maximum period. So you can stay registered under foundation scheme just for 4 years, and there won't be any revalidation option. That is to say, in the 4 years, how many ever attempts you get, you will be eligible to write only those many attempts. So generally it's 8 attempts. So you will 2 times in a year we have exams. So 8 attempts you get. That's the maximum you can attempt. It wasn't like this before. Before, there was a revalidation option and people could re-register again and write exams.
Now, how do you see this as a student? Is it beneficial?
As a student, it is. It creates a little bit of pressure, probably if you're not clearing in the first 2 years. And now also, by looking at it from the outset, when you register becomes a very important point over here. So before, what we used to do, for example, when I registered for CPT, when I wrote my exams a few years ago, when I was writing the entry-level exams, I registered for CPT 2 years in advance. So I registered when I was in first PUC itself. Although I was writing exams in June after my second PUC, but I registered in June when I was in first PUC. So that's like 2 years before my exams I had registered. So that is not very advisable at this point of time now, because you get 4 years from the date of registration. That is what the institute has clarified. So says the validity period for registration in the foundation courses of 4 years from the registration. So this is
no revalidation
option. So institute probably will issue a FAQ. It must be from the first attempt 4 years. So that would not make any difference.
Loads of questions on the especially the transition part.
Yes.
That's where I think the students would be very keenly interested.
Right.
So how will I convert to the new scheme of education actually?
Yes, so institute has its portal for the members as well as students, known as the self-service portal. So you have to go to the self-service portal and you have to shift to the new scheme. Okay. So there's nothing additional you have to do. You just have to shift to the new scheme, and there's no conversion fees. So there's no certain conversion fees. You will have to just shift to the new scheme.
Is there a possibility that somebody has registered and received already the materials pertaining to the old schemes?
Yes.
And how will they have an option to get into the new scheme?
Yes. So people who have not registered, who have not yet applied for the books, can get their books now under the new scheme itself. So there are some portion changes. So the study materials will also be different. So as I mentioned, the accounts has got 4 extra chapters and 4 chapters in con. And for law, it's 100 marks law. So there are changes in the study material. The syllabus has changed. So you will have to get the new books. So we have not applied for the books yet, sir. So you can apply for the books afresh. Now under the new scheme only, they'll issue the new books itself for you. So there's no problem about that. But sir, I have already applied and I've already got the books, but the books are relating to the old scheme. So in that case, now you will have to apply for the study kit again by paying an additional fees of 500 rupees. So you have to pay 500 rupees and you will have to get the new study kit under the new syllabus.
So if somebody has already registered for the foundation in the old scheme, so what will be the validity of the foundation course registration after conversion to the new scheme?
It will be 4 years from the first eligible attempt under the first scheme. So it will be like that. And here, important thing to mention over here will be what happens to the kids who haven't cleared foundation. Now, say for example, I write the exam in December attempt, December 2023, I write the exams and I don't clear. Do I get another attempt? As I mentioned earlier, no. you will have to shift compulsorily to the new scheme. And what I would say is, give your best under the old syllabus. Give your best, but if you're not very sure of clearing in the November exams, I would advise you to, as soon as you give your exams, try, do what you can, and if you don't have the confidence to clear, immediately start preparing for the new syllabus as well.
So as a teachers, we keep saying to them, the biggest strength that you should have is adaptability and flexibility.
Correct.
These changes are bound to happen.
Correct.
Now it's up to you how quickly you adapt to these changes.
Right.
Any quick tips
Yes.
to mentally, rephrase it?
Yes. CA is a very dynamic course. It does not make you sit simply. They believe here that change is the only constant.
Absolutely.
So you will have to keep adapting. You will have to keep changing. This is not just for students. This is for practicing chartered accountants
as well.
Because every 6 months, some amendment. Every year you have changes happening in the laws. So we have to keep getting adapted. We can't sit and complain. Oh, before this was better. This is not so nice. You have to change your mindset and you have to adapt to the new things. And in fact, if you ask me, let's say 30 people were clearing the old foundation, there will still be 25 to 30 people clearing the new foundation as well. So it's not that hard, especially if people start studying early, start preparing for their attempts religiously, study with some discipline. The new syllabus isn't hard. And the big relief, once you clear foundation, the chance of you becoming a CA substantially goes up under the new scheme.
Great.
Although we're not talking about intermediate and finals, but just giving you a glance through what happens next is, you finish the foundation course, you have to write intermediate 6 papers instead of 8.
Okay.
So that's a big relief, because intermediate is generally a very, very detailed study. You have to study for 10 months and all of that. So that you save you have a higher chance of clearing both groups in one attempt. Now you can finish your coaching, you will get enough study time, you can write mock tests, you can do a lot of fine tuning at the end as well, because you have just 6 papers. So there's a higher chance of clear inter 6 months sooner than you would under the old scheme, right? So this is one advantage. You shouldn't look at foundation alone. You also have to look at the relativity when it comes to intermediate. Just 6 papers. There's a chance that you save a lot of time there, and you save even more time for the articles. So you used to have 3 years articleship. Now you just have to have 2 years, but it's going to be uninterrupted. So 2 full years in the CA office without any much leave for exams and all of that. Then you'll have to write finals after 2.5 years of your article. After you registered for finals. So it is a very good move. Only challenge is the first hurdle probably has gotten a little bit harder.
Right.
But life after that, once you clear that hurdle, it's going to be much easier compared to what it was before. So I would say, I'm very optimistic about this. Especially if I was a student, I would be very, very optimistic and very excited, just to give my best at the first level, and then I can relax a bit when it comes to inter and finals. Of course, you have to do a lot of study, you have to do a lot of preparations, consistency, and all of that makes a lot of difference. But there's a higher chance. The moment you clear CA foundation, you should take relativity. Don't look at CA foundation from under the old syllabus and the new syllabus, and don't compare the two like that. Take the overall syllabus and compare it, and you will feel this changes in students' favor.
So higher chance in terms of both effort as well as time.
And yes, the return on time and the efforts that you put, there's a higher chance, especially after foundation. It's going to be a little bit easier.
That's quite motivating for all the one who's listening to you.
Yeah.
We're at the end of the session. Could you please give us a summary of what we just discussed right now?
Yes. So here we have basically 2 routes in which you can enter into the CA course. So the first route is the foundation route. Through the foundation, we have given importance to this, and we've discussed about this today. So foundation route, you will be eligible to write your CA foundation exams under the new syllabus soon after your PUC exams. So if you registered 4 months in advance before the examination date, so you will be eligible. Now a person who is writing his 12th standard exams in the coming March, you'll be eligible to write exams in the month of June 2024. You'll be eligible to write exams under the new syllabus. Then once you finish the new syllabus foundation exams, once you're done with the foundation exams, you'll be eligible to write the intermediate exam after that. Intermediate exam, now under the new syllabus, the small change over here as well, that you have to clear both the groups of intermediate and then join horticulture. And then once you join 2 years of horticulture, after that you have to write the final exams. After 6 months of you finishing horticulture, you will be eligible for the final exams. And there are some courses in between relating to computers. There is orientation and all of that which was there in the old scheme.
The same,
yes, has been shifted to the new scheme also. Only the syllabus has been tweaked a bit here and there. Otherwise, overall process to become a chartered accountant is the same, except for that horticulture period change from 3 years to 2 years. That is the change, that a major change that we can see from this.
So, like entire process, do you think this is an indication that India is in need of more CAs in the coming years?
Yes, more CAs and good CAs with good basics, the strong foundation, right? So Institute is now giving more importance to foundational level because they want the basics to be strong. Once your basics are strong, you can, it's like, once you build a basic structure, a strong structure, you can build a very tall building on it. So building the first floor, second floor isn't the challenge. Always the challenge is the foundation. So the Institute is trying to deepen the basic understanding of the students, and then they are making it light when it comes to the first floor and the second floor of the building. So the foundation is being given more importance because you can build, once your foundation is strong, you can build a very big structure on that foundation. That is why Institute is giving more importance to the foundation level, and that is quite visible from the new syllabus changes.
Great. I think in a short span we were able to cover some of the most important questions raised by the student. I extend a heartfelt thanks to you for this quick chat. I think solving the confusions about the new scheme, I think this is the best start. Stay tuned. I'm sure we're going to come up with a lot more updates. Thank you for watching.